Y'all, grab your coffee, your popcorn, and maybe even your Bible because this right here is not just another celebrity rumor. This is music industry Armageddon. Maggie Baugh just dropped a bomb so big, Nashville might need FEMA relief. She's claiming that country superstar Keith Urban, yes, Nicole Kidman's husband, the golden boy of the Grammys, is the father of her baby. And before y'all roll your eyes and call it clout chasing, a DNA test just leaked that's got everybody's jaw on the floor. So, who's lying, who's crying, and who's trying to delete the evidence before TMZ finds it? Buckle up. This scandal's just getting started. Let's set the scene because what's happening right now feels less like a celebrity scandal and more like the plot of a country music soap opera gone horribly real. Maggie Baugh, the rising star who everyone once called the next big thing in Nashville, has just flipped the entire industry upside down with one explosive claim: that the father of her unborn baby isn't some mystery man from the studio, but none other than Keith Urban, the Keith Urban, husband of Hollywood royalty Nicole Kidman. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Ain't no way," let's rewind, because this didn't start overnight. For months, eagle-eyed fans noticed subtle tension between Keith and Nicole during red carpet events, forced smiles, awkward hand-holding, and that one infamous CMA Awards night where Nicole literally stepped back while Keith was performing a duet with Maggie. That was the moment, folks. The performance that sent Twitter into meltdown. Some fans said they've got chemistry, others said that's just stage presence. But now, after Maggie's shocking revelation, everyone's replaying that footage with a new lens, and suddenly, all those glances, all those smiles don't look so innocent anymore. Sources close to Maggie who claim to have worked with her during her recent recording sessions say this affair allegedly began in early 2023. Right after Maggie was signed to a new label Keith had business ties with. One anonymous insider spilled Keith was mentoring her, giving advice on production, and they'd spend hours in the studio after everyone else left. At first, we thought it was just professional. But when Maggie started showing up to sessions in Keith's merch hoodies, people started whispering, but wait, it gets worse. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, when Maggie went live on Instagram, eyes puffy from tears, voice shaking, saying, "I'm done protecting people who lied to me." She never named names at first, but she hinted at a married man in the industry who made her promises, then ghosted her when things got complicated. Fans started guessing immediately. The comments were full of "it's gotta be Keith," and no way she'd risk her career unless she's telling the truth. Within 24 hours, #KeithBabyScandal was trending in 3 countries. And here's where it turns nuclear: a leaked DNA test, allegedly obtained by a close friend of Maggie. The report made its way to an anonymous Reddit thread titled "Country Music Secrets They Don't Want You to Know." The post showed what looked like a lab report with the names blurred, but the initials KU and MB were visible. And the results? Probability of paternity, 99.3%. That's when the internet went feral. Fans started tagging Nicole Kidman in posts like, "Girl, check your husband's tour bus receipts." Others defended Keith, saying the report was fake, doctored for clout. But when reporters reached out to Maggie's team, no one denied it. In fact, her PR rep only said, "Maggie is focusing on her health and her truth right now." Her truth. Those 2 words set the rumor mill on fire. Keith, meanwhile, tried to play it cool. He posted a serene photo of himself playing guitar on his ranch, captioned, "Peace over noise," but the internet wasn't having it. One fan commented, "Peace is easy when your mess is someone else's heartbreak." Another wrote, "If that test is real, peace is gonna be the last thing you get." And where was Nicole in all this? Silent, not a word. But sources say she's been seen without her wedding ring in recent photos. Paparazzi even caught her outside her Beverly Hills home, looking visibly distraught, phone in hand, sunglasses on, avoiding questions. One tabloid headline screamed, "Nicole breaks down as Keith faces paternity scandal." As this chaos spread, more receipts began surfacing. Maggie's friends allegedly shared screenshots of texts between her and Keith. In one, the man believed to be Keith writes, "You know, I can't leave my family. You mean a lot to me, but "This can't go public." Another said, "I'll take care of everything. Just trust me, whether they're real or not." Fans have already decided they're convinced Keith got caught red-handed. The entire Nashville scene is in shock. Record execs are reportedly in crisis meetings trying to figure out how to protect their brand from the PR fallout. One insider claims Keith's endorsement deals are already on hold. Sponsors don't want to touch this until the truth comes out, and while the industry scrambles, Maggie's fanbase has doubled overnight. People are calling her a hero for speaking her truth, while others accuse her of career suicide, but either way, you can't scroll through social media without seeing her name. And as the dust started to settle, everyone was waiting for one thing, a response from Keith Urban himself. Because silence might work for a while, but not when the whole internet's demanding answers. And oh, trust me, what came next turned this scandal from messy to catastrophic. The moment finally arrived, Keith Urban could no longer hide behind silence. After days of relentless rumors, memes, and a growing #UrbanBaby trend, he logged onto Instagram live one quiet Sunday evening. The man who usually radiates charm and calm looked visibly shaken. His hair was unstyled, his eyes hollow, and his hands trembled slightly as he adjusted the camera. He started with a shaky laugh. "I've been in this business long enough to know that rumors come and go. But this one?" He paused, sighing deeply. "This one's gone too far." But instead of denying everything outright, Keith made things worse. Way worse. He said, "There's a lot of love, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of lessons in life. Sometimes lines get blurred in ways you don't expect. Lines get blurred." That was all it took. Within seconds, the comments exploded. "So you're admitting it? What does that even mean, Keith? Nicole deserves better." Thousands of people were screen recording the live, dissecting every syllable like detectives at a crime scene. And when he abruptly ended the stream, mid-sentence, no less, the internet lost its mind. Hours later, someone uploaded a clip that didn't make it to the official replay. In that snippet, Keith's voice cracked as he said, "I never meant for anyone to get hurt." That line was replayed on TikTok over 1 million times, paired with captions like "he's guilty and he knows it." Meanwhile, Maggie Baugh's silence became louder than any statement. Her Instagram went dark, no stories, no posts. But fans noticed something strange. In her bio, she changed her tagline to, "The truth doesn't need approval." That single update sent shockwaves through fandom circles. Some claimed she was confirming everything. Others said she was playing mind games. Then came the alleged audio leaks. A voice note, supposedly from Maggie to a close friend, began circulating online. In it, she said tearfully, "I didn't want to destroy anyone's family. I just wanted him to be honest. He promised he'd be there." Almost immediately, another clip surfaced, her man's voice saying, "You know, I can't fix this if you go public." The voice, raspy and familiar, sounded eerily like Keith, of course. Skeptics argued it was AI generated, but by that point, truth didn't matter anymore. Public opinion had already passed its verdict. Nicole Kidman, the woman caught in the middle of this emotional wreckage, finally made her move. She posted a cryptic photo on her Instagram, a black and white shot of a broken glass heart. No caption, no tags, just heartbreak. Within an hour, it had over 1 million likes and tens of thousands of comments like, "Stay strong, Queen," and "You don't need him, you don't need him." And then came the kicker. TMZ dropped what they called verified hospital records showing that a DNA test had been conducted at a private clinic in Tennessee, naming M. Baugh as the mother and K. Urban as the alleged father. The probability percentage? A staggering 99.3%. People went wild. Podcasts began calling it the biggest betrayal in modern country music history. Hashtags like #UrbanDNA and #MaggieTruth trended for 3 straight days. Fans flooded Keith's upcoming concert pages with clown emojis and comments like, "We're not buying tickets, we're buying popcorn." But even with the chaos, there was still one question nobody could answer. Who leaked the report? Some say it came from a nurse at the clinic who was bribed by a gossip blogger. Others whisper it was Maggie's team, pulling the ultimate revenge move after Keith ghosted her. And a few conspiracy theorists insist Nicole herself released it as a strategic strike to expose the truth and reclaim control of her narrative. Insiders close to Keith claim he was devastated and blindsided. One even told the Nashville Ledger he genuinely didn't expect Maggie to go this far. He thought they had an understanding that this would stay private. Another source revealed that Keith's lawyers immediately went into overdrive, contacting news outlets and threatening lawsuits for defamation and breach of confidentiality. But here's where it gets even messier. Apparently, Maggie wasn't backing down. She allegedly filed for acknowledgement of paternity in Tennessee, citing emotional distress and financial abandonment. According to whispers, she wants legal recognition, not money. Just the truth. Meanwhile, Nicole Kidman's PR team reportedly began preparing a dignified separation statement, which would allow her to step away from the marriage gracefully, citing irreconcilable emotional differences. If true, this would mean the end of one of Hollywood's most iconic love stories, destroyed not by fame or distance, but by a secret too heavy to hide. The entertainment media had a field day. Late-night hosts made jokes like, "Looks like Keith's next single will be called DNA Don't Lie." Memes popped up with captions like, "You are the father," referencing Maury Povich. But behind all the jokes, there was real pain. Fans who had idolized the Urban Kidman couple for years were now watching their fairy tale crumble in real time. And Maggie, her name was everywhere. She became the lightning rod for both sympathy and hate. One camp called her a homewrecker, accusing her of chasing fame. The other painted her as a victim of power dynamics in the industry, another young artist exploited by an older, influential man. At one point, a Nashville blogger claimed that Maggie's upcoming single, Half the Truth, was inspired by her secret relationship with Keith and that it was scheduled to drop the very next week. Whether coincidence or perfect timing, the announcement only fueled speculation that the scandal was far from over. By the stage, the narrative wasn't about who cheated or who lied, it was about survival. Maggie's silence, Keith's nervous denials, and Nicole's heartbreak had all become part of a cultural conversation about honesty, image, and accountability in the entertainment world. And the world couldn't look away. But what happened next would make the entire saga spiral into uncharted territory, because the final showdown between Keith and Maggie wasn't happening in private anymore. It was about to go live. When the world least expected it, Maggie Baugh broke her silence. Not through a press release, not through an interview, but through a tearful Instagram live that had over 1 million people tuned in within the first 5 minutes. The title of the stream reads simply, "My Truth," no flashy intro, no music, just Maggie sitting in a dimly lit room, her eyes red, a baby ultrasound photo faintly visible on the table beside her. The chat went wild. Is that real? She's showing the ultrasound. She's about to expose everything. And then she spoke, her voice trembling, but her words cutting deep. "I didn't want to do this," she said. "I begged for this to stay private. But the lies, the gaslighting, the silence, they broke me. I can't be quiet while the world paints me as the villain." In that moment, Maggie didn't sound like a fame-chasing singer. She sounded like a woman pushed to the edge. She revealed that Keith had allegedly been involved with her for months, promising emotional support and a future once things settled down. According to Maggie, everything changed the day she told him she was pregnant. He said he needed time, and then he disappeared. As she fought back tears, she lifted the ultrasound photo and said, "This isn't a scandal. This is a life." A little heartbeat that didn't ask for lies. The internet exploded. Within an hour, her live stream had been clipped, remixed, reposted, and analyzed across every platform. Celebrities began to weigh in, some defending Maggie's courage, others calling the entire situation messy and manipulative. One anonymous industry insider told Variety, "Everyone knew Keith was walking a thin line. Maggie just decided to stop playing his game. But if Maggie's live was a thunderstorm, Keith Urban's response was the lightning strike that followed. Just 24 hours later, he released a statement through his management, and, for once, there was no denial. The document read, "I made mistakes that I deeply regret. I let emotions and circumstances guide me where integrity should have led. I am taking full responsibility for my actions and will handle this matter privately for the sake of everyone involved." Boom, that was it. The internet broke. Keith Urban, the country music legend, the family man, the devoted husband to Nicole Kidman, had just admitted it. Maybe not in full words, but enough for everyone to understand. The memes turned into think pieces. News outlets dissected every sentence like it was a confession. Meanwhile, Nicole Kidman made her first public appearance since the chaos began. At a charity gala in New York, cameras flashed. Fans cheered, but Nicole's smile was strained. When reporters asked how she was holding up, she simply said, "Grace is the only thing I have left." That one line became an instant headline behind the scenes. Rumors swirled that Nicole had already moved out of their shared home in Nashville and flown back to Los Angeles with her daughters. Her team was reportedly drafting divorce papers, citing emotional betrayal and irreparable damage. Hollywood insiders whispered that she was done, that after years of standing by Keith through rehab and scandals, this was the final straw. As for Maggie, her life transformed overnight. Her streams skyrocketed, her follower count doubled, and offers started flooding in from labels and talk shows. Yet she refused every single one. In a short tweet, she wrote, "I didn't expose this for fame. I did it for freedom," but not everyone believed her. Keith's loyal fans began pushing back, flooding Maggie's comments with messages like, "You ruined a family, and if you loved him, why destroy him?" One particularly viral post read, "When you play with fire, don't cry about the burn." Maggie replied to none of it. Instead, she released a short, haunting acoustic song titled "Truth Hurts Twice." The lyrics were poetic but raw. He said he'd stay until the end. But love don't live in shadows. Fans immediately connected the dots, calling it her final goodbye to Keith, and the moment she reclaimed her narrative. Meanwhile, reports emerged that Keith had checked himself into a private rehabilitation retreat in Montana, not for substance abuse this time, but for emotional exhaustion. Paparazzi photos showed him looking thinner, pale, and distant. Some sources claimed he'd been trying to contact Maggie to make things right and be involved in the baby's life, but she wasn't responding. Nicole, on the other hand, was spotted having dinner with old friends, including actress Reese Witherspoon, who reportedly told a close source, "Nicole's glow is coming back. She's done crying." By this point, the narrative had shifted completely. What started as a scandal about infidelity and deception had evolved into a public reckoning about accountability and self-respect. Talk shows began praising Maggie as a symbol of truth in a world full of PR lies. One viral post summed it up best. Maggie didn't ruin Keith, Keith ruined Keith, and then came the final twist, one that nobody saw coming. TMZ released footage of Keith arriving quietly at a hospital, holding a small pink gift bag. The timestamp? The same morning Maggie was rumored to have gone into labor. Fans immediately flooded social media with emotional posts like, "He showed up, maybe he's trying to do right by his child." But when asked by reporters outside, Keith didn't say a word. He just looked down, whispered something under his breath, and drove away. A week later, Maggie shared a black and white photo on her Instagram, her holding a newborn's hand. No caption, just a tiny heart emoji. Within minutes, millions of comments poured in, congratulations, tears, prayers, and yes, still plenty of controversy. But one comment stood out above the rest. It came from an anonymous account, only saying, "I'll always be here. K," and just like that, the story came full circle. The scandal that began with denial ended in silent acknowledgement. Maggie got her truth, Nicole got her closure, and Keith? He got a lesson, one that fame, fortune, and charm couldn't erase, because at the end of the day, no matter how bright the spotlight shines, the truth always finds its way to center stage. And there you have it, folks, the story that's got Nashville on fire. Hollywood in meltdown mode, and the internet detectives working overtime. Maggie Baugh drops a DNA bombshell that has Keith Urban shaking, Nicole Kidman packing, and the world wondering, what really goes on behind those glamorous red carpets? Is this the biggest betrayal in country music history, or just another Hollywood cover-up gone wrong? One thing's for sure, the truth never stays buried for long. What do you think? Is Maggie telling the truth, or is this just another fame-fueled plot twist? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe to Lumi Legacy, where the drama never sleeps and the truth always breaks louder than the lies.